Welcome in. Take a breath. You are among people who get it. Nothing forced, nothing scripted. Just real stories and a space to reflect. Let's get to it.
Women. Mufumakazi.
Wansadi. Musadi.
Umfazi.
Frau.
Mulher.
That is who we are. That is our strength. We are remarkable, brave, capable, unique. We are women to women.
Good afternoon, South Africa. Good afternoon, Africa. Yes, we are remarkable because we are created by God. And today, we bring to you something different. We have explored throughout the years friendship. And many times, it always turns to the toxic side of it. But let us talk about all friendships are really toxic. So why we have that drive in our nature to look for friends? Today, we are going to explore the beautiful side of it so that you can make up your mind. Mohadi, joining us today, welcome to Woman, talking about friendship.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here. And it's also available to have godly friendships. So today we're going to tackle the pros and cons of friendships.
And of course, this is why we're calling it more than just friends. But before we engage with our guests of today, Bali, we are going to hear some confessions. Of course, we are going to just listen to that because we don't want to expose people. Are you ready for that? Let us just hear. Confession number 1.
So the toxic work experience I had was in the beginning of the year when I was elected as second in command. So a lot of my teammates did not understand why it had to be me, and a lot of them were just not in agreement with it. And so it got very bad because now people were jealous, and it even escalated to bullying. So now I was bullied because they felt that I wasn't good enough to be their second in command or to lead them in certain tasks. And obviously it was escalated with the managers and people in higher places, but they didn't really care much because they just wanted the job to be done. So as long as the job is done, that's fine. They don't really care what's happening amongst the team. If one does not feel well with certain things, they just want the job to be done. And that is really toxic. I felt really bad for the longest of time.
Mohadi, sometimes people make a confusion between friendship and office colleagues.
Yes.
While we are friends, we have the same mindset, the same purpose. But when there is dispute and common interests to be won, it's quite impossible to say we are friends.
Yeah.
We are office colleagues.
Yes.
And of course, there is office politics. And sometimes people misunderstand friendship because they expect to have friends everywhere they go. But that's not true, isn't that?
It is, Ms. M. And in a workspace, things have to be professional. You can't expect to be friends with everyone. You know, you open yourself up to your colleagues, you open yourselves up, you tell them your personal matters, your personal problems. And in no time, if they will be discussing you in the office corridors, then that will really hurt you. You'll be heartbroken. So you need to know when to draw the line. I'm here to work, so I'm here to work with my colleagues, not to form a friendship. So a person has to have boundaries and know when to draw the line and keep it professional throughout.
So, first mistake, if you think that you're going to draw friendship from every colleague that you have at work, it might not be the right perception. Let us hear to one more confession.
Recently walked away from my best friend of over 10 years. I never would have imagined that I would lose this friendship. We practically grew up together. We shared the same birth month, but it was time for me to let go of the friendship because it was too controlling, lack of accountability. She never was wrong in anyone's eyes. And that was something I literally had to walk away from because I was tired of being used, more especially when she would get into arguments and I have to defend her. Little did I know that she would do that to me. So I just had to silently walk away and never look back.
Sad to hear about that, indeed,
Yes,
isn't it?
because if it doesn't serve you right, the friendship, you are in a friendship, but you lose yourself, you cater for the other person, but you also not being catered for. So you need to know when to walk away. 10 years of friendship, it was good, but if it ends up not being good for you, so don't be afraid of walking away because you can't lose yourself for the sake of a friend.
I think, Mohadi, in every relationship that we have, especially friendship, family, it comes from the point that we need to be ready to give, but also to receive.
That's true.
If there is one element of selfishness, it will not synchronize in the perfect way that we hope so. And there are people who insist in keep friendship even if they are hurt, if they're taking advantage of, if they are controlling, because they have that notion. It's better to have her as a friend rather than being alone. And I question if that is true indeed.
And it's draining because you've been that friendship to please the other person, but you understand your needs are not met. When you want assistance, the person, they shut their doors on your face. So it's not worth it to keep it because a friend, you need to add value onto her and she also needs to add value onto you. But if it's one-sided, then it won't work out.
And now we go for our last confession of this afternoon because we really want to explore the beautiful side of it.
I stayed in a friendship that was slowly breaking me because I was scared of starting over and having nobody. I kept excusing the hurt because I loved the memories that we had. Eventually, I realized that losing myself was far more painful than losing a friend. Sometimes the hardest thing to accept is that not everyone is meant to stay forever.
We change from time to time. We grow up, we have new experiences. And it's so unfair to expect that we are going to live as friends and understand for all the years of our lives without having setbacks, without facing adjustments and change. Because honestly, if I look at myself 10 years ago, I have grown. Things that were very important for me, today they don't seem to be important. And things that I had despised before, they make total sense for me. So if you are my friend and you are exactly living the same moment, we are together in this.
Yes.
But maybe your moment is different and we are not going to align. So it's a wrong perception to think that we can keep friendship forever. We can, but we will change.
We drift apart. And when the drifting comes, you just have to accept it and walk away. Don't force yourself into someone else's life. You know when it's time to call it quits. You know, you just value and treasure the moments, the memories you created with the person, and you just move right along.
Yeah.
It doesn't harm.
And now, I want you to think about this question. So why am I going to be friends with if at the end of the day I know we are going to drift away, we are going to have different opinions? Is it possible to cultivate friendship? More than that, is it worth it to cultivate friendship? That is the answer that we wanted to give you today through our guests, Kamu and Imbali. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to Woman to Woman.
Thank you very much.
Before we speak of the great experience you had with friendship, did you have friends that were not that nice?
Oh, definitely.
I did.
It's frustrating, isn't it?
It is. It is because like somebody now in the voice note spoke about how
you can get to be in a position where you are being controlled by that friend. So I was in a position of that where it's all about her, not about anybody else. And they would say they're straight talkers, but when you have to say the straight talk to them, it didn't land well. So the friendship had to end.
Did you try to maybe help them think that, no, I can fix my friend? You know, she can change?
Well, if at the end of the day, if ever the person is, you tell them something and they do the same thing over and over again, meaning that it's all about them, then we don't have like anything in common.
I think it teaches us, Miss M, we can't fix a person.
We can't. But the reason why you girls are here today is because in a given moment in your life, you found true friendship. So who wants to start?
I don't mind to start. So I think for me, when I started my journey of, I guess, understanding friendship, it started with me growing up. I never like valued friendship. For me, it's me, you know, life gets tough. It's me. If I have things that go wrong, it's me and God. And I think, you know, when my mom got sick and, you know, now I remember it happened unexpectedly. We never expect bad things to happen. It happened unexpectedly. And my first reaction was, you know, my automatic mode, you know, it's just gonna be me and God. And I remember it happened in a week because it was unexpected. We got her results that she was sick, and it was Sunday now. I think I got her results like Thursday. Sunday, my friends could tell that something is a bit different, and they were concerned. And I remember both of my friends were asking, you know, how's your mom and how's everything? And I said, you know, yeah, you know, challenges here.
You were
and
not
there.
ready to open
I
up.
wasn't ready to open up. And I remember, you know, although, you know, there's the harsh side, as she was saying, where there's very, very harsh. But I think for me, they pushed me out of my comfort zone. And funny enough, what my friend asked me when she saw my reaction, a friend of mine, she said, Ndumbali, so do you think you're Jesus? And I remember when she asked me that, I said,
Yeah, because, my goodness.
And then my other friend looked at me and said, then why are we friends? Is it because of the good times? Is it for us to laugh? And I think at that moment, a deeper meaning of friendship got unlocked. And I realized that, you know, it's not about, this is what true friendship is about. Normally we think, you know, it's about going out, it's about laughing, having fun, speaking about our experiences, sometimes sharing because we serve together, but also in the tough moments. And I think that's what, for me at that moment, showed me in those tough moments, it's good to have friends. And they came in, and it happened so much so that, because at that point I had experienced so much, because with her being sick, it affected her business and it affected so many aspects of it. And me being the only person in my family that's Christian, I needed that support system. At that time, I didn't think I needed it, but God showed me at that particular moment that it's more than what He gave me what I needed at that moment. And that's when I unlocked that, I guess, depth in understanding of friendship. And it furthered on when, you know, funeral arrangements happen. And now
Your mom passed.
My mom passed.
The youngest child?
The youngest child, the last born, and my sister was also disabled. And at that time, there was no other person around. My mom's business, I had to take over midway through school, you know, and she got sick midway through cycle test. So I was writing my exams, I was taking care of the business. And, you know, every business has contracts and there are technicalities. And I remember at that moment, things felt heavy. And friendship at that time, and thank God, God was centered in that friendship. For me, they became the spiritual support system as well. Because after they asked me, you know, those questions, the question that followed wasn't just criticism, you know, but it was them saying, okay, you know, Mbali, tell us, how can we pray with you? Give us a day, give us time, and let's pray. We're going to carry you through their prayers. Even my friends' families got involved where I didn't have to push them to say, please pray for me. They offered that helping hand because they knew that I'm somebody who's a bit closed up, and I'm not somebody who's necessarily always vocal. So that's when that support system helped, especially now because I'm different beliefs, you know, with family. And they pushed me aside and they said, we're not going to take care of you. We're not going to care for you when you're going to see yourself. And for me, having a support system that I knew was praying for me, and I knew that they were there for me, even at a point where they said to test it out. They even said, I remember a family member of mine said, yeah, let's see if they can even, if you're a church and your friends will even come. And I remember my mom passed on Friday, and then Saturday, 7 o'clock, both of my friends were outside. I didn't ask them, so when I saw them, I was like, what's going on? But I was surprised, and they came. They didn't ask for anything, they didn't push me, but they came and they came. You know, normally people say, I'll pray for you, but they didn't just say, I'll pray for you and then see you, but they came, they showed up. And I think for me, that was immense. And it wasn't just that day. They showed up every day. Some came to cook. Some came to cook, and I know some of my friends don't like, you know, to cook, but they came and they cooked. And I remember they cooked so well one of the days that my family, my aunts, they were like, oh, come back, keep coming back. And that for me meant a lot. So even on the day, you know, now the day came and we had to bury my mom, my friends were supposed to go with somebody else, you know, to the church. And my family was like, come to the family car, because normally there's a family car that goes at the back of the casket. And they said, no, your friends are now part of our family. So they both brought them in to sit down, because my family had seen also now the impact of the friendship. It wasn't just me alone, but even the friendship impacted those around me. So
they turned into family, your friends.
They turned into family.
But the most interesting part, Miss M, is because she opened herself up for the friends to really come through for you. Because if you just closed yourself up in your pain, in tears, then you're not going to get the support that you got. So opening yourself up and allowing them to show up for you, it really was encouraging. No?
Yeah, and I also think there's two responses, you know, that could have happened if I had other friends. I thought at that moment when I was going through things, they could have been the friends that go, you know, something's wrong, but I'm not going to speak. Let's not get involved. Let's let her be. So it could have been that. Or sometimes it's people who sit and they'll just cry with you the whole time, and they sit with that emotion. But having people who'll say, even now when I was wrong, because I was carrying everything on my own, and them, you know, giving me that space and telling me when I'm wrong, but also encouraging me to say, okay, yes, Mbali. In that moment of weakness for me, that was my fire. And they were there to say, no, we're going to pray for you. We're going to, let's do it. Not just, you know, it's okay, everything's going to be fine, but also, you know, the spiritual support. So having Jesus centered in our relationship also helped.
You saw more than just words. You saw commitment.
Yes.
Are you still friends today?
We are still friends today.
Inseparable.
Inseparable.
I guess. Because hardships brought them together. And the respect and love of the friends to the moment that she was going through, and not expecting anything back, but being just there made all the difference. So do you believe in friendship?
I do. And I think there's something that also helped me a lot, and I'm remembering it now. And besides the words, it was mostly the actions. And I remember when my mom was sick, even that in itself was really difficult.
It was very.
You know, going to checking up myself alone, because I didn't have anyone. So I would take my sister, I would take my mom. And I remember my friend, I didn't, like they weren't necessarily always comforting me all the time, but she wrote a letter, she wrote me a Bible verse. And at the time I was also facing other challenges at school and stuff, and she wrote me, be strong and courageous. And she got me my favorite snacks and she gave it to me. And at that moment, she didn't even notice that, you know, it probably didn't do much, but for me, it gave me so much strength to continue with everything that I was going through. So I think friendship is definitely, you know, there is a good side to friendship, especially if Jesus is at the center of it.
That's it. Kamo, you also had a moment you found friendship.
Oh, yes, I did. Because, you know, with me, because like back then I had like bad friends, and I told myself that I don't want to do friendship anymore. So as much as it would be like, okay, no, it's people that I grew up with. I know them back then, but I didn't really want friendship. Then it happened in my life that, I had like friends that were there, and most of the time, also, like, they really helped me a lot in terms of my life. I remember when I saw, because with my other one friend, so we used to, like, we grew up together, and there was a moment where we were like friends, but like we were like the wrong corruption friends, something like that, along those lines. Then it happens that now as we grew up, and now I saw how dedicated she is, like, in the work of God, and I was like, because for me it was like, okay, fine, we used to be together in Sunday school, and now when I saw that change in her, it really, really, really pushed me to say that, but if she can like be the change, I can actually, like, there can be some different change in me. And also, like, every time when she would say something like, no, I received the Holy Spirit, and I'm like, oh God, what is happening with me? Like such things. And moving right along, and how she's very dedicated and stuff. Like, there's moment where I'm not okay, and whereby I would not want to talk to anyone, then maybe, okay, fine, I'll have my moment with God, like Mbali said. Then after, when I speak to her, she's not going to be like that friend that's like, no, no, they are wrong. She's going to tell me things that I don't want to hear. And at that point, I'm going to say, but no, you don't understand my side of the story. And she's like, so normally we call each other ma'am. She's like, ma'am, listen, ma'am, but this is not how you need to look at it. You need to look at it this way and that way. But deep down, after that, when I'm just sitting down and realizing, but she's actually correct. And most of the time, if ever I need to hear something that is actually very valid, I don't want somebody to console me in terms of whatever. I know that I will call her, because I know that she's not going to be that one which will filter or maybe would nurture my emotions and stuff like that. She'll be that friend that will be like straightforward. No, ma'am, that is not. No, but you can't do that as a child of God. You are very wrong. Yes, God had to rebuke you. Yes, you're like, and I'm like, no, ma'am, but I wanted you to view it the way I want you to view it. So she's that person. And I remember also, so with me also, my mom passed away, and it happened last year on the 25th of April. So it was like Career Expo. So when she was sick, it was on the 1st of, so it happened, okay, the Career Expo was on the 25th. So it happened that it was on the 1st, sorry. So my mom was sick the Thursday, so it happened that she was not somebody who was sick forever, but it happened that there was like a case that we were going through as a family. So when my mom lost the case at court, she was never okay the whole of April. So it happened that on the 1st of April, I remember we were at Soweto, and like everybody was calling me and stuff like that. But I didn't know, and my sister just said, your mom is sick, and I'm like, deep down, I was like, but I'm not God, because I didn't think that it was like that intense. So when I went there, then my mom had stroke. And for me, obviously, not knowing, like, you want to be strong at that moment. You don't know who you want to talk to. And I would not, because I would just say, like, oh, my mom's in hospital. And it would be like, okay, like, they would not understand how intense it was. Because when I saw her, that's where I was like, oh my God, I wonder if she's going to make it. But then it happened that the Friday, like, luckily my family they're not like that. No, don't go anywhere. Your mom is sick and whatever. And they said that to me, okay, fine. No, you can go. It's Saturday. Because the Friday I was at work, then I went to work, then I was not okay. Then I went to the hospital. Then on Friday, the Saturday, then it happened that it's the day when she passed away. But my family was like, and I told them that I have to go to Soweto, but I'm thinking not to go because of what is happening. And they were like, no, you need to go, because obviously she's in hospital, there's nothing that you can do. Then just make sure that you come back at 2, because that is the visiting time. Then, okay, fine, then as we were there. And my friends pulled through. I remember when she knew, because it happened, they called me while during, the whole entire thing. And when they called me and they said, come back home, then, okay, and I had other people, which were friends, and they drove me to the hospital. That's where we found out that my mom was no more and stuff like that. Then it happened, and the first thing, when she knew, one of my friends, when she knew, she came to my house like that day, and she was there, and like she sat down and whatever. And I remember, like, I was sharing about, I was telling her about my other friends that they don't have parents, and she's like, ma'am, and she just made a joke about it. She's like, oh, at least now you are part of the squad. Then we just laughed about it. And to me, it was, for somebody, it would be like, oh, why would you say that? It's hectic, you can't say that. But for me, I even laughed about it. I'm like, oh yes, like I'm like my friends right now. At least they know how to console me and stuff like that. And she was there, like, I remember, like, she would come every day to our house, because we had a lot of family that was coming. This moment where more other families, they slept at her house. So she was there. And I remember a lot of people, they didn't even know that she was actually a friend. They thought she was part of the family. And they would ask a lot of stuff. Okay, where's that and that and that? And you know, the funny part is that the other people were family and they thought that she was family. And there was a moment when they said, you guys look, you look alike. Who's your mom again? And like they were asking her that.
And the same names as well.
And yes, and we've got the same names as well.
And it's not a very common name.
Yes. Well, it is kind of common, but not really. But yeah. But, we've got the same names. And it was like, no, you guys look alike. And now even my family members are like, you guys have the same name. You guys are friends. Why are you guys friends? And I'm like, we don't know, but we're just friends. And, like she was there from day one. I remember there was like moment, especially during my grief time, because, I would be in that moment, I was like, I don't know. Because there would be a moment, I remember my younger sister, she sent me a message and she was like, yeah, you're choosing your God over your mom. And for me, it was, that time, somehow, like the doubt in it, and he's like,
the negativity.
Yes, like I remember I had to I reminisced on that for just a little bit of time. And I remember when I was telling her, and she said to me that, no, don't allow that. It's just the voice of the devil. Obviously, he's not going to come straight, especially because at that point in time in my life, I was not okay. I just lost my mom and stuff like that. And, I remember, she was just there, and, she would check on me. They would check on me. And it was not just only her alone. And that's why I actually realized something that, I've got, a big family. I remember also even the day of my mom's funeral when they were there. And the minute when I just saw, a whole lot of, of them there. And I was just like, where you are not sad, but you're just happy right now. And you just forgetting that, okay, fine, and this is the funeral and stuff like that. And it was so amazing that I knew that, okay, fine, here I've got friends. And I remember because they would make you just write they just write a message. So my younger sister was reading the message. And then the next day, and she called me, she's like, why did you say that you want kids and that you don't want kids there? Because I said in the message, who's going to be, you are not there, who's going to be the grandparents, if ever my children and whatever. And she's like, there. And I was like, no, I was just writing it. At that moment, you just you wrote whatever that is coming to your head. Just no, ma'am, this is not you. Why did you have to say that? And for me, it really showed me something that this is a friend that knows me. She knows me. She knows the things that not everybody would know about me, but she actually knows a lot about me. And for me, it was just amazing just to know that, okay, I've got friends, I've got family that is actually there. Because she's more than a sister. Even if there's moment, even her mom, she's just I know that, okay, I can count on her. And even with her mom, they thought that she was my mom for the longest time. So
you become so close that you become like family, isn't it?
Yes, and funny enough, we don't even stay at the same place. But when I'm with her mom, and even I remember when I see her mom, she's like, your mom is here. You didn't take pictures with your mom. And I'm like, my parents. I need to go and take a picture with my parents. So now it actually makes me realize that, this friend also, it was not just a friend, but I also have parents because of her. So I know that if ever there's something, I can go to her mom and, she'd be there for me as a parent.
So from someone who had very bad experiences with friends before, do you today believe in friendship?
I do believe that there is friendship, great friendship, so long if the vision is the same and the goal is the same. So, and yeah, I do believe in friendship.
Because when a friend is genuine, their words, they match up with their actions. So it's not just about promises, giggling, laughs, but they show up in every season of life. And I think, Miss M, also, you're not afraid to show your emotions. If it's a moment of grief, you need to cry. Your friend is there, you will cry. Because
and you're not going to be judged.
Yes, and you know that they will uplift you. You won't just be in that moment of crying all the time. You'll be able to move on because they'll tell you, no, dry your tears, let us move on. Then you'll be able to stand up and keep moving.
Not enough having their account. We want to introduce to you their friends. So let us see the comments of their true friends in such difficult moment.
Friendship is so important that, man, if I fall down, sometimes I can't even pick myself up. So I need a friend to pick me up.
Blood is thicker than water. And I guess with her and I, it can be quite the opposite. We're not blood, but so you'd think we are blood. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Nomtana Zonkosi.
Hi, I'm Gamo Rapadu.
And we are the friends that became like family.
I met Gamo in the Sunday school. We were both in the Sunday school. And from there, as young kids, I think 5, 6, then from there we just grew up together.
I met Simbali as well in the church. I knew her as I think I was in TFTs and she was in CBC when it was then.
So we became friends because of that whole interaction of going to Sunday school every single Sunday, see each other, and would even attend during the week. So that having to see her every single day, we created a bond, and that bond became something that we also didn't even expect.
At first, I was her mentor, right? And then that's how I saw her. You know, that's the relationship dynamic we had. And then eventually, another friend of ours merged us together. And then that's when I got to know Mbali. So that's when the friendship occurred.
So when Gamo's mom passed away, it was a complete shock because she was in the hospital and we all had faith that she would, she'd make it through. So it wasn't something that we were expecting to happen. And we were right in the middle of the Career Expo, literally on the day of the Career Expo. So things are happening, we're there, we're doing this, we're doing that. And to hear her receive a call and then she has to leave. It was, okay, I hope it's not that. Do you get me? And then to hear now that it is that, my immediate reaction was, now things have changed. We are no longer in the middle of a Career Expo. I need to be supportive and support my friend. So I tried to reach out. At the moment, they were still at the hospital, but immediately afterwards, went to her house to check on her and to see that, to see how she is. So then from going to her house after the Career Expo, now reality kicks in. It's the funeral preparations, everything that needs to happen. So it was a matter of me making sure that I'm there for her, whatever she needs, anything that may arise, that wasn't planned for or that she hadn't thought about, or maybe somebody that might come and hurt her feelings, maybe say something that I needed to make sure that I can be there to counter it in whatever way possible, right? By making sure that she still gets to see how much God loved her, to ensure that, but when her mom passed away, her relationship with her mom was stronger than it has ever been, and to ensure, my job was to ensure that she can look at what God had allowed to happen just before her mom passed away. Do you get me? So it was very important to help her focus on the good and not focus on, because with funeral arrangements, there's a lot of things that happened. There's a need for that, there's a need for that thing that comes up that you hadn't really, planned for. And yeah, so my job there was to ensure that she can still look at the good things that God still did do in the midst of the chaos of having to plan for a funeral.
So what had happened when Mbali's mom passed away, I immediately said after church, I'm going to go and call Mbali. And I called her. I asked her how everything was. And of course, she explained that, in as much as the mother passed away, she knew beforehand that it was going to get to that point. And she had told me that, Nomti, yes, it occurred, but I'm grateful because now I know she's not going to be in the pain she was in while she was in hospital, because it was really a challenging experience. And the very next day I went to her house. I visited her with one of our friends as well. So there was this particular moment that happened. We were in church, and because she kept everything to herself, when we saw her, she looked at peace. she looked okay. And that period of time, her mom was not okay. And, she was happy throughout the whole day, We eventually found out that her mom was not okay and she was in a situation where people had to assist. And I looked at her in Bali and I said, do you thank you, Jesus? At that point, I wasn't trying to, judge her, criticize her, but I was trying to say, you're not perfect, by the way. You can be human. And right now, we are here. And another friend said, then why are we here? We're here to assist you. I believe that God brought us to your life and vice versa. So what's the point if we're just going to be here all fun and games, but when it comes to the serious matters, you don't include us, And that's when she broke down and she spoke that, okay, this is what's going on. And then that's when we eventually assisted in the matter that was happening. And then from then she started opening up more. We started having calls, long calls, very long calls, and that's how we bonded even more. We became like sisters. My mom became her mother, basically, and whatever she needed from my mom would naturally do it, because even my mom was like, she's my daughter. Whatever she needs, I'm there for her, not just because she's your friend, but because I see her as well as a daughter.
Speaking of which, I think she has more pictures with my parents than I do. They even match. I don't know where they get the time to discuss, we're going to wear this, literally with both my parents. So when you speak about how I kid you not, you'll see the pictures. She literally looks like, she's the daughter, which she is. And with even what happened, she literally is a part of the family. Like she said, our family is literally just mistaken as for the other, because it's a funeral and there are other people there and our names, and other people say we look alike. I don't know about that, but we are literally our families, and our friendship dynamic is so intertwined even with our families. Everyone knows Gamo in my family, everyone knows me in her family. And even with the funeral arrangements, being there the night before, having to stay till late, having to go with her family to my house so that they can be able to sleep there. And then in the morning, in the AMs, we go back. So all of those dynamics were just testament of how really we are no longer just friends, but we are really, really family.
How Mbali had contributed to my life was that, though, as I mentioned previously, the age gap, right? I think she's my youngest friend ever. So because, she carries this faith. She just has that, when she went through that storm, she still smiled. She was still calm. Usually people are panicking, they're all over the show, but she was so at peace. And I admired that about her.
Gamo became, when you literally see me and Gamo in separate places, you'd literally think we are the same person. I almost said you can almost attest to it. The way we are so passionate, our passion is really loud, and the way we encourage each other at the face of adversity, the way we anchor each other. Something can happen, but it's always a matter of having to see what God is saying through that thing. Do you get me? For example, you can receive a no, but God allowed that no for a reason. And finding out about that no is something so exciting. And with Gamo, it's always an adventure. We always want to find out, okay, God, so when you say this, and then when somebody finds out, and then, Kelly, this happened, and she's sending, I remember just recently, she sent me a voice note at 2 a.m. in the morning saying, I read this verse, and it was like this, and so I love that about our friendship. I found somebody who shares the same vision. So what word would Gamo describe our friendship? I believe she would say truthful, unfiltered truth. Because I remember she wrote something on the those flower cards, right? And then with that, I knew when she wrote that, girl, that's not you. So I remember afterwards, much later, I was like, Kelly, so how, So I would never sit back when there is something that, doesn't make sense, or when something that I know she feels a certain way about, and then now maybe for whatever reason at the moment she feels like this is the right thing. I always leave that space and make room for a safe space to be able for us to tell each other the truth. That's one place with her in our friendship that there's always truth. No matter how ugly it is, there's always a place where we can tell each other the truth.
We spend our entire life searching for one thing: to belong. We collect followers, we join groups, we call people our friends. But what if friendship isn't just emotional? What if it's biological? How friendship affects mental health.
A friendship where you have a sense of belonging, where your victories are celebrated, your challenges are supported, that can significantly improve your mood, your view of life. There's just a sense of security and safety.
The brain chemistry of belonging.
One thing that is important to understand is that humans were created for connection. And what happens to our brain when we feel we're accepted and we belong, our brain releases chemicals such as oxytocin, which is responsible for building trust, feeling safe.
Connection isn't just something we feel, it's something our brains respond to.
Also, positive relationships can release chemicals such as dopamine. Dopamine is a pleasure hormone. It's responsible for creating excitement. At the same time, there's a chemical called serotonin, which can also be released by our body. And serotonin is responsible for overall well-being and, emotional stability. Feeling alone, unaccepted, rejected. Our bodies over time can release hormones such as cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. So you can imagine what happens to somebody who's chronically lonely. Over time, it can lead to other physical conditions such as depression, anxiety, hypertension, etc.
Why humans fear exclusion?
We were created for connection. Even God, after he created man, after some time, he saw that it is not good for man to be alone. So that alone tells us that in our very creation, in our very nature, besides our connection with God, we also want to connect with humans.
Maybe that's why rejection feels so painful, because we were never meant to face life alone.
Inclusion, to a large extent, has a lot to do with identity. It gives a sense of power. There's a great sense of protection when you're included.
Why people stay in toxic friendships?
There are many reasons. Sometimes the fear of being alone. Also trauma bonding.
So, if a friendship is hurting us, why is walking away often the hardest part?
Sometimes toxic relationships feel safer for some people. Validation, for example, it's toxic, but it validates. It validates me, it makes me feel safe, etc. It could be just preference as well, in terms of whatever psychological trauma I could have gone through makes me lean towards these kinds of toxic relationships.
Why betrayal hurts physically?
There's this common phrase people know that says the body keeps the score. What often happens to our brain when it feels betrayed, it looks at the other person as a threat. The body feeling under threat, it tends to then want to protect itself.
Betrayal doesn't just break trust. It changes how our minds and our bodies respond.
You realizing and acknowledging that betrayal really did happen and it really did hurt you. And it's also important to acknowledge that all these other parts of your body are affected by the betrayal. That is why even healing from betrayal is holistic. Making time to pray, meditation, talking to a friend, and really acknowledging that this did hurt and it is worth addressing holistically.
The people closest to you shape more than your memories. They shape your well-being. So ask yourself, are your friendships protecting your mental health or quietly draining it?
I do hope you have enjoyed meeting their friends. And of course, hoping that soon, very soon, you may find friends like they have. And I hope also you have enjoyed the scientific aspect of friendship. Now we have an icebreaker, because what is the purpose of having friends and not having fun?
Yes.
I just don't know if our guests will have fun. But we have here some games for them. It's all about fun, okay? But you need to be sincere. So the first round, it is, you have to answer real friend, fake friend. So pay attention to my statement. Are you ready? Ready to have fun?
Yes.
Good. I don't know how much, but let us find out. A friend who disappears while dating, real or fake?
Okay.
Fake.
Fake. Would you like to comment?
But why would you do that as a friend? Then, like, why would you do that? Because I need to know what is happening with you as a friend. Because obviously, like, if it's something okay, you have to come to the table and say, this is what is happening. Then meaning that you're not friends.
Okay, Mohadi. That's
Another
number
one.
2.
Okay, a friend who tells the harsh truth. Is it a real friend or a fake friend?
Real. But why then people get offended if truth is spoken?
I think people get offended if truth is spoken, because when someone tells the truth about a flaw that you have to confront yourself, and many people don't have the courage to confront themselves. So that's why there are many people who, even if a friend says, there's something wrong, or fix this, improve your character, they become defensive. So it might not be because they don't want to hear it, but it's more that they're afraid to confront themselves. So.
All right. The last one on this session. A friend who competes with you.
I think I'd go for...
Wow. We have here...
It depends. It can
And
be,
I would love to hear the reasons behind.
It depends on, the reason why I'm saying this. It's because it can be a good competition or it can be a bad competition. So I'm thinking of good competition. If you friend... if let's say, for example, we're friends, and now my friend can do this and I also need to up my game. It's not because of the badness of it, but because of I see inspiration from my friend, hence why I become a competitive friend. Not in a wrong way, but because of that.
If the competition is good.
If it's healthy competition. Yes.
If it's not, it can create animosity.
That's what you thought.
I think that's the way that when I heard
Interesting, very interesting.
I was like, competition, because the nature of competitiveness is comparison.
Exactly.
And you wanting to better yourself. So I think we want to better each other, yes, but not to the sense that I want to be, that's what I thought, and I wasn't thinking about it on, the other side, but it was that competitive nature is demeaning, or the friendship becomes messy and it's not authentic, because now you don't want to give this advice to Miss because, she's going to improve. I don't want her to improve because I want to improve. So that's what I was thinking, and that's why I said fake friend.
But that shows that every situation has always 2 angles. And I think, and we're going to speak more about that, that's the reason why people only see friendship as toxic and they don't believe that they can have true friends. But we're going to go to the second round. Are you ready? Now it's a very truthful moment. You're going to expose yourselves.
Okay.
And we are going to do a question. Mohadi, will we start?
Yes.
And you answer yes or no. And you can say, I don't want to comment. Okay?
Okay.
And we will respect it.
Okay.
But you can comment as well. Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Mohadi.
Here you go. Have you ever been jealous of a friend? jealous of a friend. Maybe you were not celebrating their success. They came telling you good news and you felt like, oh goodness, I wish it was me.
Yes or no?
Yes, I think before I was converted, we were running for deputy, right? And this is where the competition was, right? And now we're running for head girl and head boy. And all three of us were friends. And all three of us, I remember we were all running for the same position. And I got deputy, and my friend got head girl, and my other friend got deputy. And I remember I lost by 2 votes. And I was so upset. And I was even jealous. I was like, I wish that was me. And I think yes. So this is my expose. So yes, 100%.
Camu, yes or no? And you had more time to think.
Yes. Well, okay. I'm in between. Now, no, because whenever I see my friends doing good, I become so happy because it shows that I've got real friends. I've got friends that are going somewhere. So now, no, but yeah, before I would be, because I would compare myself with them and I'm like, oh, everything good is happening to them and why is it not happening to me? So, but I don't really think that I've ever been a jealous friend, in all honesty, like in this one. I've never really been, the jealous part. I'll just like admire. I'm like, I wish it was me though. Yeah, but not like spiteful, jealous, and yeah.
Okay. Second question, ready? Have you ever secretly competed with a friend? Yes or no?
You kept it to yourself.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Answer.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
The same situation?
It was similar, but this time it was with academics, because before, the three of us, so before like high school, the three of us, we were known, all three of us, and all three of us were good with academics. So for us, I was always no, it's fine, I'll get whatever position, but secretly, I was working hard. And I had one friend of mine, the one who became head girl. She was always first, so I was secretly competing, and I was like, no, I can't be at the bottom. I never said to her, I never made it public, and I was always like, I'm so happy, no, I would never. I know that I won't, my marks are not as good as yours, but secretly I wanted,
Good to hear. Come on.
I thought no, but I actually she made me think of something that actually is. Because I remember.
So your friend is helping you now.
Yes, because I remember when I was like at work and I had this friend, and obviously, and the aim was I wanted to be like, top in my work, and I'd make sure that, okay, fine. At first, like, she was like, the top consultant, and it happened. I was like, no ways, no, like, I need to be like the first one. Like, there's no way that she can be there. And to that extent that, like, I made sure that, I was, and she didn't know that I was competing with her. Because every time, like, okay, fine, she would do good. And I was like, yes, oh, you did good. But I was like, oh, she can do it next month, it's my time. And it happened that, no, it was not. Until to that extent that, yes. But I was, like, definitely competing with her.
It was in a form of motivation?
It was, because like because I remember when I got to the work that we were working together, and she was good with her job. Like, she would be like, every time, like, we would have like, so how can I say it? Every month we would have like, the top consultant, and she would be part of that, and yet I was just like a senior consultant, and she was like in the exec, and I was like, you, this girl. And that's why I was her friend, because I was like, I want to be her friend, because in a way, she should like inspire me, because I thought, like, if she can do it, I can do it. But it turned out that I was like, I want to beat her, because there was moments she was in my team and I was like, no, I can be better than her, because we were dialing the same campaign. So yeah.
That's it. Now we have the final question, Mohadi.
Yes. Have you ever pretended to be okay with a friend's success? Pretended to be okay, but you were not okay?
No.
No.
No, both of you know.
No, not now, but then with, of course,
with that
with that situation. But no, never pretended to be okay. To be not okay.
And you never.
No, never.
So if a friend is successful, you are truly happy for that friend.
Yes.
So thank you for your honesty and exposing yourselves. I want to draw a conclusion from this.
Yes.
We always expect the best from our friends, right? But I wanted to throw a question. So that I can have the best from my friend, should I not also be the best friend to that person? And what I sense in general, people are always expecting to receive. So I feel like I can say what I believe it will help you, but I'm not prepared to hear your opinion. In that way, it will never become a friendship that completes and builds each other, because we come from different intentions, different grounds. And that is the reason, maybe, people struggle to have true friends. Mohadi,
Yes.
tell us how to get a good friendship. What is the secret?
Yes. You need to be aligned, and also you have to have the same principles, because if a friendship is not mutual, you're going to crush, you're going to clash, and you won't be able to gel, like understand one another. So you have to have the same principle, the same goals, and the foundation of it all is God. God has to be involved, because I can't befriend someone whom she's not in the same faith as I am. Because what makes her happy doesn't make me happy. I get revolted over. So it has to be aligned, the same principles and goals, and also God has to be first in the line.
That's it. And I would like to add something.
Yes.
Respect. Yes. I want to be respected, but maybe I don't want to give the same portion of respect to my friend. I want my friend to come with me in places and do things together and understand my mindset, but I don't always do the same towards my friend. So that will never be true friendship according to the guidance of God. Would you believe that God teaches us the secret that Mohadi was talking about in His Word? So let us see God's point in this. And believe me, the Word of God is very clear about this topic. Our reflection is in the book of Proverbs, chapter 18. And it starts like this, verse 24. A man who has friends must himself be friendly. And we spoke about that. I cannot only expect to receive, I need to be able and ready to give respect, to give of my commitment, to help. Sometimes to say what is truth, and it may hurt, but I do it from the point of view that I'm helping, not to take advantage, not to put my friend down. And then the most beautiful part of it, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. So whenever the friendship comes from the family of God, and I don't want you to misunderstand me, it's not because one says, I'm a Christian, or I am from the same church, we are from the same group, that automatically it qualifies to be a true friend. We need to see God in that person, in her mindset, in her actions, in her words, in her decisions. So when you find someone who has the same love for God that you have, the same principles of honesty, the same goals of serving each other, then you find a friend that is more than a friend. It becomes your family. That is the purpose of God, to have children of His own, and all of the children not battling one another, not competing, not being jealous, not wishing the worst. So friends closer than family, it is what you have. I have mine Mohadi has hers.
Yes.
Because God is giving us that, right?
Yes.
Today, I'm going to break the rule. Instead of Mohadi or myself praying for you, I'm going to invite them. You have experienced toxic friendships. There are many out there who are broken because of those toxic friendships. But maybe they did not look for the characteristics that are necessary. And you are going to pray for those who really need to find true friends, for them to become friends as well, for them to do their part. Shall we pray?
Heavenly Father, as we are here, my Lord, I pray for those who are hurt because of friends, my Lord, who don't want anything to do with friends. Father, I give them into your holy hands, and I pray that may you be the one guiding them, showing them the way, showing them what is friendship. Most importantly, that you are the center of that friendship, that you are the one who's in control of every thought, my Lord, of every conversation that is happening in that friendship. I give them all into your holy and your mighty hands, Lord.
Father, I also pray that you may assist the one that is sitting there who thinks that, she doesn't deserve good friends, or who thinks she can carry everything on her own. My God, I pray for the person that is there, that you may give them strength and send the right people, show them that true friendship exists, my God. But most importantly, give them the wisdom to recognize when they need to allow people in their lives. Maybe they are not allowing someone or a friend, you've put someone there, but they're not allowing them into their lives. But God, I pray that you may soften their hearts and show them your love, show them your grace. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. So this is it. Believe in friendship, but also look for the characteristics. Be part of the family of God, and you're not going to get hurt. Also, be a friend. Don't expect only to receive. On that note, thank you very much for coming, sharing your stories. Enjoy your friendship. Broaden your group. Extend to others what you received. Amen?
Amen.
Until next week, God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
The first step to healing is simply reaching out. If you or someone you know needs support, email woman-to-woman@uckg.org.za or call 0800 330 320. Our toll-free helpline offers confidential, non-judgmental support.
Every woman has experienced it, yet very few ever stop to ask what it really means. It can influence your decisions, shape your emotions, and impact the course of your life more than you may realize. But what if one revelation could be all you need to prepare for your journey of faith towards Mount Zion and change your life forever? Join us on Saturday, 25th July at 11 a.m. for a special self-help meeting led by Mrs. Marsha Pires at the Holy Ground Cathedral, 2445 Emmink Drive, Zone 6, Diepkloof, Soweto. For more information, call our toll-free helpline at 0800 330 320. This could be the answer you've been searching for.